Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Rubicon Unlimited. I'm hoping this is going to be a quick video. I've been driving around without a cell phone holder for like 3 years now, and finally I pulled the trigger on this simple purchase and picked up a wireless phone charger. This one is made by Scosche, and it is called the Stuck Up Qi. Okay, so this is a cell phone holder. Great for navigation, great for, queuing up a song. This one in particular, I went for because of the wireless charging. It's universal, so, you can mount whatever phone you want. It's got side-to-side adjustment to clamp the phone in, and it also has up and down adjustment. The whole thing is on somewhat of like a gooseneck, so a flexible arm that you can place however you want. It's also got like a 360 degree turning ability, so if you want the phone mounted portrait, you can do that. Or if you want it landscape, you can turn it 180 degrees and you're good to go. The whole thing is mounted with a suction cup, and it's an interesting one that can work on textured surfaces. So if your dash has like, just like our Wranglers, there's like a bit of a textured feel to it, it'll work. But I took out the inner tray for the center console and just mounted it to that, and it works perfectly. It does its trick if, the wireless charging isn't keeping up with, say, Waze, which is like a battery hungry app. You can go ahead and just use the regular cable. So that will allow you to charge the phone while using the maps, whereas I find the wireless charging will pretty much maintain your battery power while using maps. The flexible arm, it doesn't really move around too much. I mean, you're gonna get a bit of bumpiness with the driving every so often, but not enough for me to worry about it. And that's pretty much it. If you want to stick around, we're gonna route some wiring. I'm gonna rip apart the dash and just simply clean up where the wires sit, because right now they're just hanging in front of the radio. So let's clean it up. Why not? All right, so let's quickly run through how I'm gonna run the wire from up here all the way down to the cigarette lighter. First things first, we're gonna take out this plastic tray. We're not gonna need it anymore. It's in the way for the suction cup anyways. And then we're gonna take a 7mm socket and take out the screw on the top. You can already see it's starting to free up the dash. That's cool. All right, next up we got to pull out our window control. So we're just gonna, I'm gonna try to pry this thing. Let's get a flathead screwdriver underneath. There you go. Pops right out. Then we got to remove the switch, so we're just going to pull up on this red tab. It should release the pins. Then push down on this black rocker. Free out the switch. Save that for later. Inside we're going to find another 7mm bolt. Go ahead and remove that guy. Let's not drop this thing down into the dash. Just gonna yank this a little bit more. Okay. So the dash is also bolted down just behind your gauges and stuff. So I'm gonna try to avoid going that deep into the install. I really just wanna run my USB cable, so I think this will be enough clearance to just drill a hole and then get that guy running down. Okay, so this install is a little more involved. I thought the dash would remove a little easier, but we're gonna keep moving on this. So we're gonna pull this plastic piece out. A couple clips on the top, pivots down, pull straight out. And then we're gonna remove a couple screws in here. We got a couple more 7mm up at the top. We got one hidden right there. And we got another one right there. Alright, so with the 4 screws removed, we can now free up the dash. Let's move the steering wheel down. And this whole panel comes right out. Sweet. Okay, so to make this a little more easier, just to run the wire down, I'm gonna pull this piece out as well. And it's just clipped in there. Okay, and that should be enough to run the wire. I'm gonna use one of these snake tools. I'm just gonna shove it to the right side of the vent. I can feel it poking down the fabric down here. That's a perfect spot to run the USB cable. So I'm gonna grab my USB cable. This came with the charger and it's super long, so it should do the trick. And I'm gonna attach it to my nifty claw. If you don't have one of these, use a coat hanger. Plenty of other ways of doing this. And what I'm gonna do is just pull it back through and hopefully the cable stays attached. Success. And yeah, we just need enough distance here to get to our 12-volt cigarette plug. And this bad boy is gonna run up to the top, and we're just gonna make a little hole in the dash tray. Alright, so I'm just gonna continue to run this USB cable just beside the radio, because our goal is to have it come up through the tray. Okay, so now since we have, you know, the dashboard out of the Jeep, we're gonna make our hole, and it's gonna sit up on the tray. And I wouldn't worry too much about these holes, because remember we took out that plastic tray liner piece. So if you really wanted to, you know, reverse this install and not have that hole, you just cover it up with the tray and we're golden. So I usually keep my mount right over here in this section, and I want the wire to run, you know, right along it. So I think the best spot will be in this corner to drill the hole. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so I went pretty buck wild with the Dremel tool and I made a pretty decent sized hole, but keep in mind some of these USB plugs have a pretty fat end, so I just wanted to make sure I wouldn't have any trouble feeding that through first. So yeah, that hole is fine. So now we can just reinstall the dash and then snap in our AC control, and then we can snap together this dash panel. Just like that. Then we can return our attention to the 4 screws. So we got one on this dash tray, one where the switches go, and then 2 by the steering wheel. And we've got the one over here by our switches, window switch. Cool. While we're at it, might as well reinstall this guy here. So just push that in, and then don't forget about our red clip. And then this guy just pushes right back in. Alright, now we can get our 2 last screws by the steering wheel. And then we can go ahead and install this guy, bottom slot first. Push in the top. Easy. Alright, so we're going to take our provided USB adapter for the cigarette plug. Shove that thing in there, and then we're going to plug in our USB. It's nice and out of the way, not hanging in front of the dash anymore. Alright, and then back up top, so you want to make sure to plug in your USB into the wireless charger. And we're gonna stick this down. I like to put a little bit of pressure and then use the clamp. That looks sturdy. And we are given just the right amount of cable. And if you really wanted to, you can go ahead and put a zip tie here just to tidy it up. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Rubicon Unlimited. I hope some of this information was useful to you. We kind of went over how to tear apart your dash in case you want to run some wiring, you know, whether it is a wireless charger, a regular, you know, USB cable, something for navs. Doesn't matter what it is, it's good to know how to do these things. If you want to check out this specific phone mount with the wireless charging, I'll leave a link below. You can pick one up if you want. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please do, because I've got some more videos down the pipeline. I've got some stuff planned, so I'd like for you guys to tag along. And thanks again for watching another episode of Rubicon Unlimited. See you later.